Good morning, friends. It's Nancy. Welcome back to my channel where we are working on a project for November that I'm calling Notions Needlework. Today I've got scraps and bits of embroidery that are offcuts of previous projects. Took a great big hunk out of that one for sure. And just going to see what I can turn these things into. Oh, look at this one. Do love me a pansy. Not sure what I can turn that into. That's very heavy. Anyway, not sure that I can turn it into too much. So, yeah, lots of opportunities here. But I do have something ready. I used the absolute last piece of heat and bond and adhered it to the back of this. I think this is a scrap of a pillowcase. So I've got out my scissors and I'm just going to fussy cut around. And when I've got this all cut out, I think I showed you before, I have a tray of these tags that I made using a master board that I'd made up just using scraps of flat lace. So I'm going to peel off the back and adhere this to the tag. So let me finish fussy cutting. Fussy cutting is done, so I will peel off the paper. I'll have to put it on my shopping list to get some more. I don't use heat and bond a lot, but it's certainly handy to have. So I thought I would put this on this very plain I don't know that I like it on the very plain. I think I like it on that one, and I'm going to clip off this yellow. And maybe put that up there. Let me try a different size. Maybe a smaller size is what I'm looking for. Maybe that gets a little lost. Maybe we'll put that up there. We'll find a place for that. I'm going to take out some of this white. Now, because this is sort of overhanging the edge just, well, it's not really overhanging the edge. I can trim that down. But what I do want to do is put a back on here first and sew it. Because I don't want to stitch through the embroidery bit. We need a piece of paper to back this. Let's see what we have here. Grab out the scrap box and ooh, I have something yellow. We're not really using yellow. Well, there is yellow. Here's a piece of purple. I could die cut it, but that sounds like a lot of work. So a little bit of what's going on here? A little bit of glue. Just making sure there's nothing on the back. Flower go? Oh, there it is. Good, good, good. Can't lose my flower. Okay, I'm gonna sew this. While the glue's still warm, I'm just going around the perimeter and pressing my thumbnail on the fabric so that it just gets right in there, because there's a lot of texture with the lace and the bulk of the embroidery thread underneath. So I just want to make sure the edges are fully involved. Especially this little piece here that we've added on. Okay. We need an eyelet. I have these big ones. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Now, these eyelets, the 3/16 inch eyelets, it's a little small for this hole, but because there's another piece of paper on the back, that piece of paper will hold the eyelet. See? Done. A little bit of ribbon. I'm going to go with this white. It's vintage, okay? In fact, it's been sewn onto some kind of a garment and then taken off. Now I'm going to try to do a double bow here. It's been a while since I've done one. So hopefully I need a tool. I'm going to have to add a little bit of glue just to make sure that that sticks. I need to give this a little poke. All right, I'm happy with that. Next up, I have some scraps of fabric, and all right, here it is. I have this teacup. So what I want to do is make a little pocket out of this by making a paper pieced quilt square. Now that might sound crazy and confusing, but let's give it a shot. So I need a hunk of paper. Oh, any old thing will do. I don't know why I'm struggling. Actually, I want a piece of paper I can see through. So let me get a piece of copy paper. And we're going to do some math. So I think I could do this one of several ways. I can make it very simple, and maybe we'll end up doing two, and that'll be the answer. So I can go do a 2.5-inch square and cut that teacup out, or I could do like a 3-inch square this way. get a pencil. Okay. Then I'm going to want a 1-inch strip around all 4 sides. Whoop. Got a little bit too much paper going on here. And then I want to do, so this is 5-ish. I'm just going to mark a 2 and a 2 from each edge. And then we'll match up I mean, I could do it even maybe I will. Let's do 2.5, 2.5. And then okay. So I'm going to start by cutting. I'm going to start by ironing this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my little teacup here, and I'm just going to tack it down. With a little bit of glue. So this is going to I've cut this 3.5, so it's 1/2 inch bigger than the 3-inch square. It's going to hang over 1/4 inch every edge. Now let's take a piece of this fabric. So I'm going to cut 4 pieces of this with scissors. Clearly, I need to iron this as well. So I've added 2 more pieces of fabric. They don't have to be 2 different colors. You could use 4 different colors. You could use the same color. I just decided to do these pieces in strips, in pairs, I mean. So I'm going to sew those 2 lines now. So this is sewn down. I'm tipping this back, and I want to cut this off. So it's a 1/4 inch past that triangle's edge. So that can come right off. We're going to do the same on this side. Is there an easier way to do this? Probably. I mean, let's face it. Yeah. I got confused by that extra line, but that's where I did the 2 inch instead of the 2.5 inch. So that's about right. And then I don't have to, but I can cut off these extra bits. Okay, now I'm going to do corners. So I have this fabric, and my intention is to cut some triangles, lay them on the edge, and do a 1/4 inch seam. So because I don't want the fabric to be on a bias, it's important for me to cut a square or actually 2 squares, and cut them in half triangles. I'm slightly panicking because this needs to be ironed. So I'm just kind of cutting this. So let's do 2 4.5 inch squares. Which is going to be way more than I need. So I'll do each edge separately. stitch it a 1/4 inch, and then fold them out. I can cut off these extra wings. And then I will do these 2 triangles. Okay, this needs to be trimmed down a bit. What do we got going on here? The distance between these 2 points is about 4 3/4. So I'm going to cut a square. Let's do 5. Let's go ahead and do 5. And then and more or less just roughly attach it. And then tear off that paper corner. And I'll do some stitching around each side. I'm just tearing off the paper corner to reduce the bulk. And of course, these corners can also be trimmed off. And I can also cut down the edges of the fabric to a reasonable length, because right now that's about 1/2 inch. And cut it down to about 1/4. So I'll turn over the fabric to give it a finished edge and then stitch all the way around the block. And then we will see. The reason I'm adding the paper is just to give it some body to act as a pocket. Done. Honestly, not a big fan. I wish I had removed those blue stitches. I probably could still try to do that. And yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Next piece of embroidery. I found this little doily in my stash, and what I thought I would do, let me just measure this. Okay, so this would fit perfectly across the top of a page, and I want to make a hidden paper clip so that there will be a clip on either side of the page. Let's get a page to demonstrate that. and then, you know, something can be tucked up underneath it. But, oh, maybe I'll do it sideways. But I want to do something decorative on this side. This little piece is lovely, and it fits with the colors of the journal perfectly. But I thought I would do like a little arrangement of yo-yos. And then maybe do a little bit of stitching to join them together. So let's get a piece of fabric. I think this will be enough. You've seen me do yo-yos before. You could probably Google. So I am using the lid of a pill bottle. It is, let's call it 2 1/4 inches. So this is making little 1-inch yo-yos. Sorry, I was fussing looking for a pencil. Just takes a few simple stitches to whip one of these together. And I want 3 because 3 is sort of the perfect number. Odd numbers look better than even numbers. So I have a threaded needle here, and I've got a knot on the end. Oh, I also like to fold this in quarters and sort of do a finger press so I know exactly where the center is. Let's not say exactly. Let's say I know sort of where the center is there. So I'm just going to go around turning the raw edge down, less than 1/4 inch. Maybe 1/8 inch. Just enough to get the raw edge over. And I'm just doing a simple running stitch. There are definitely tools out there that you can purchase to make yo-yos. And I do have yo-yo makers. The manufacturer is Clover. And they come in multiple sizes and also multiple shapes. But it's really not that difficult. I mean, the benefit of a maker is it turns the edges for you. When the pieces snap together, it folds in the edges. But other than that, get a pill bottle. I might even add a couple of little teeny buttons in order to, mimic maybe a different flower in the bouquet. Okay, so I'm finding my little spot there where I marked it with my finger press. And then I'm just giving it a knot. So let's maybe think about what that might look like. Okay, I'm going to go over that with a marker. That's where the pom-pom will go. Did I say pom-pom? I meant yo-yo. Yeesh. Okay. That's where the yo-yo will go. Remember this friction pen, as soon as I touch it with hot iron, it will be I don't know, evaporated? All right, so I'm going to use a little bit of embroidery thread to do those leaves and stems. As soon as I find the embroidery thread. You've seen me embroider before. We will regroup. I have the stitching done, and I've just glued the yo-yos. So I took a CD and traced a couple of circles, slightly smaller. Well, decently smaller. I'm going to fold one in half. This is just some paper out of my scrap box. I'm going to place paper clip there, and I'm going to tape it in place so it doesn't go anywhere while we're working. Sorry, my chair was rubbing against the table. I'm sure that was annoying. And then Such a child, Nancy. Okay. So this is how it will stick to the side of your paper, like that. I'm just going to spread that glue so that it doesn't seep through the fabric. Come on, glue. Okay. Fold this over, just make sure there's no glue. And then this will be a hidden paper clip. Right on the side of the page. And then you can tuck something behind it, like that. So we did quite a few things today using pieces of linens and old embroidery to decorate our journal. I hope you thought this was kind of a fun project, and maybe you'll take a look at the scraps you've got hidden in your boxes of goodies and see what you can turn into a decorative element for our November junk journal of Notions and Needlework. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.